Would you even want me? Looking like a zombie. Would you even want me? Want me? Want me? What's poppin', yo? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at 28 Weeks Later. Part of a 3-part series that I'm doing on the channel, taking a look at 28 days later, 28 weeks later, and then 28 years later. It has pissed me off that they have skipped out months, but if they want to do more spin-offs, they can do 28 hours later, which is basically the start of the infection. I think that would be a pretty interesting story, with everyone running around trying to escape them, it being a lot more hectic, a lot more busy. We can also do 28 months later if they wanted to do one in between 28 years and 28 weeks, and then you can also do 28 centuries later, which is going to be a long time into the future, but I think it could be a really interesting take on the franchise. So without any further delay, let's take a look at 28 Weeks Later, which is the second one in the series, which did come out in 2007. It's a horror sci-fi. It is 1 hour and 31 minutes long. Has a 4.9 out of 10 on IMDb, 73% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. You can watch this on Amazon Prime, Netflix, Disney Plus, and also YouTube. When an incurable virus starts killing people in Britain, they are forced to evacuate their homes. All hell breaks loose when they try to return to their country and are again attacked by the virus. So how this movie opens up is with obviously an opening kill, an opening situation to set the tone. We have a family in a cabin with all of the zombies rushing in, trying to kill them, trying to attack them, and there is only one survivor from that family. That survivor then is working with the US government to help Britain get back on their feet and get the UK citizens back into the UK. So we have one small island in London, one small section of London been cleaned, been vaccinated, been ready to feast, whilst the other sort of army people go through the rest of Britain, burning the dead bodies, burning their items, clothes, any blood stains, to make sure the virus does die out. And with this, this man decides to bring his kids back, and when his kids come back, they go to their old house to get a picture of their mum, who they have recently found out has passed away due to their dad leaving her. Unfortunately, they run into the mother, who's also hiding out in that house, who has been infected with the virus, but because she has heterochromia, or to my understanding, that's the reason why the virus hasn't taken her. And then she gives it to her husband, who doesn't have heterochromia, so then passes it on to him. And he, ends up attacking the grounds, and everybody starts getting infected. The US Army then implements one of their, situations where it's like, oh, guess what? Everybody is now gonna die, and we're gonna burn this place to the ground because of the virus. And then it has to die out because we're not risking it breaking out again and getting out of the UK. So one army man is like, hey, I don't want to die, I didn't sign up for this, I'm getting the hell out of here, and you guys can come too. So we have an army man, a scientist, and a couple of other civilians fighting their way through the army and zombies to escape. They get picked off one by one, you don't really get much time to sort of develop feelings for them. And then we have the two kids being the last two standing, and one of the kids gets infected by the dad, and then she lies to the helicopter dude, being like, no, neither of us are infected, and they fly away. And then at the end of the movie, we see France getting attacked, but that is no real loss. So that's really the story of the movie. I think it's pretty basic, pretty boring, not as good and not as interesting as the first one. We don't get as much time to sort of develop a connection with the characters. We have Hawkeye and the scientist being two of the main characters, who do unfortunately not make it to the helicopter in the end, and I think that's the biggest loss throughout the series. Hawkeye doing a sacrifice play and then getting burnt alive, which is actually a brutal way to go by his fellow army people as well, which I think is even worse. Your friends, your co-workers, your colleagues, people you're supposed to trust and have faith in, decide to burn you because you was, unfortunately exposed to this virus. And I get that they're just following orders, but it is still quite upsetting to see. we have the dad who is an absolute fucking liar, saying that mum died and not telling them the truth, that he actually ran away and left her, and there was actually something he could have done. He could have tried to save them, but he just didn't and ran away. He was a coward, and it is kind of, justice that he actually got turned into a zombie rather than his wife. But yeah, he ended up eating his wife, so his wife ended up dying anyway. Don't know how she survived in that house for so long, I'm going to be honest. All the other zombies starved to death, so I don't know how she managed to, survive. But she did. She did. We don't know what happened to our boy, Cillian Murphy. He was nowhere to be seen in this second movie, so I don't know if he's a zombie or not. That would be very interesting to find out. But yeah, the zombies look a lot scarier in this one, I'm going to be honest. They have glowing red eyes, they're a lot more prevalent, they are a lot more strategic and tactical because they pop out the shadows, there's a lot more jump scares, and there's a lot more build-up to them. And again, it is a heavily fortified area, so it is going to be really hard to get in and get out. We have the added pressure of the army attacking them, again like the first one, where they are stuck between the army and the zombies. And again, they're getting picked off one by one, which they didn't do in the first one, which is fair enough. So this is new to the franchise, having people get picked off one by one. But when you don't really care for the characters, or you don't get time to build a connection or like a relationship with the characters, it's really no point to their deaths. That's why like the last four, Hawkeye, the scientist lady, and the two kids had the most impactful like situations happen to them. And even with the daughter killing the dad, that's going to have some long-term psychological effects on the character, and you can see how much like distraught she's in when she has to do it, but she has to do it to save her brother, and she doesn't want her brother to get killed, and for whatever reason he's not showing signs of the infection. And again, I do believe that is because of the heterochromia, because the only two characters that didn't get infected had heterochromia. So is there something to do with heterochromia that stops you getting infected? I don't know. I'm interested to see. And are these two seriously the only two people with heterochromia in the entire like franchise? Are we serious? Are these the only two people that had heterochromia in the UK, so that they didn't get infected like in the first movie? I don't know. It feels like a pretty big plot hole, because I know heterochromia is rare, but I have seen at least 5 people in my life, like where I live in York, with heterochromia. So like there has to be at least some survivors, surely. They're not the only two in this universe that have heterochromia. The prosthetics for the zombies are actually really cool. I think they actually act out being a zombie really well, and it is different from the Walking Dead style zombies and the other franchise style zombies. I think their take on a zombie movie is really cool. And again, this does feel like what the USA would do. I'm going to be honest, where if they can't fix it, they destroy it. If they can't make it better and it all goes to shit, they blow it up. Like, that feels like America. I'm going to be honest, that feels straight up like America. And I'm glad the kids survived, I'm going to be honest. But I don't think in 28 years later that this kid will have any repercussions to, surviving. Like, this was just a plot point which did feel like it would lead into a second movie, but that second movie never arrived. So we know that they got to France, but we don't really know what happened after that. I'm going to assume and hope that in 28 years later that does get answered, and we do find out like what happened with this kid, what heterochromia has to do with anything, and if the virus is still affecting the world. But I just have to wait and see when that movie does drop. But the review will be out tomorrow for you guys, so you should not have to wait long, literally, because tomorrow is when I'll be reviewing it. So I have to wait a couple of days, a couple of weeks till that movie comes out, but you get it pretty much tomorrow. So I do spoil you, so don't say I don't give you anything. And with that, I think it was worse than the first one. I'm going to be honest. I much preferred the first one because we had a lot more character connection. We had a lot more like emotional depth to the characters, and we had a lot more like reason to get behind them. We had a lot more sort of backing to them. So when shit did happen, we cared a lot more. Whereas this time round, we don't really see a lot happen to the kids, and it is just a basic movie where the cast of characters gets picked off one by one by one. It is a basic horror movie trope. It is a basic horror movie scheme, which I'm not the biggest fan of, and it is quite slow. It dragged. The pacing wasn't brilliant for this movie. I'm gonna be honest. It took a long time to build it up to actually getting to the point where the zombies get in and get brought back, which, again, with an hour and a half, taking like half an hour to 45 minutes to bring the zombies in is a long time and a very, very long setup to then speed through a load of character deaths and a load of character situations, which basically just feel like a list of shit that happened, I'm going to be honest. It felt like there was a mission in mind to get to the helicopter, but other than that, it just felt quite slow, quite lackluster, and it didn't really have as much, depth as the original movie. There is still a lot of good things, which I did point out earlier in the video, with this movie, but I feel like there is still a lot to be desired with this one. So with that, I hope you all did enjoy this YouTube video. I'll see you all in the next one. I'll see you all tomorrow when we take a look at 28 years later, and I'm going to give this movie a solid 4 out of 10, because it's just mid. It's just mid. It's not brilliant, it's not terrible, it's mid, and I prefer the first one, so 4 out of 10 for this movie. And let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you like this movie? Do you think my score is correct? Do you have, your own opinions on it? Do you want to argue with me in the comments? Not argue, debate. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for on my thoughts and opinions, because I am willing to defend why I feel this way, because if this video did not already give you enough reasoning to why I feel this way.